Hello and welcome you all in the course of probability and statistics. Now, today we should learn about say fitting of nonlinear equations. Fitting of nonlinear equations is a part of curve fitting. In curve fitting, our first approach is if our data is linear, then we have to fit a straight line. It is also known as least square line fitting. If our data is vary, yeah, it's random as compared to previous one, then our approach is we have to fit a least square parabola instead of least square line. But if our data is in non-linear in nature, then it is better or it is suitable to use the fitting of nonlinear equations. And fitting of nonlinear equations is also referred as say nonlinear equation reducible to linear form. These are the one of the important term. It's a nonlinear equation, but we have to apply some transformation. So after applying that transformation, our data is reducible to a linear form. And these are just like say beauty of this transformation. Now sometimes is also known as say fitting of exponential or fitting of logarithmic curve. So which type of form is known as say nonlinear equations? Yeah, nonlinear equation but reducible to linear form. Yeah, exponential. Yeah, logarithm form. So variety of form is available. Here we have to mention a few of them. So the first form is say y is equal to a into b raised to x. That is just like in power. The x is in power, that's why it's known as the exponential form. Yeah, just by rearrangement, say y is equal to a x raised to b. So again, b is in the power, so is also known as the exponential curve. Yeah, y is equal to a e raised to bx. So again, bx is in the power, so is also known as exponential form. Yeah, in simple manner, we have to say that this type of form is leads in the category of equation reducible to linear form, or is a fitting. We have to use the fitting of exponential curve. Yeah, we have to say that fitting of logarithmic curve. Why logarithmic? So we have to see that y is known as fitting of logarithmic curve. So we have to carry forward all this form is as it is. Y is equal to a into b raised to x. So first one, second one, y is equal to a into x raised to b. So y is equal to a into x raised to b. The third one, y is equal to a into e raised to bx. So y is equal to a into e raised to bx. Now the power is x. In the second form, power is b. In the third form, power is bx. That's why it's known as the exponential, because something is in power, so it's known as exponential. Why is also known as logarithmic curve? Because our original form is any of the category, but our aim is we have to convert this nonlinear equation by applying some transformation to a linear form. So it doesn't matter which type of exponential form is exists, but to convert any of this out of these three, to convert any of the three form into a linear form, our basic step is we have to apply logarithm on both the sides. And here we have to apply logarithm on both the sides. That's why it is also known as fitting of logarithmic curve. So precisely we have to talk about the first form. So y is equal to a into b raised to x. Now apply log on both the sides. So left hand side is log y is equal to log of a into b raised to x. But we know the property of logarithm. Log of a plus log of a into b is written as log a plus log b. So by using that property of logarithm, this right hand side term is written as log a plus log of b raised to x. But again, we have to apply the property of logarithm. So log of a raised to b log of a raised to b, that is power is in the front, that is b into log a, but here power is x, so is written as x into log b. So just we have to use the simple property of logarithm. Now for sake of conveniency, we have to assume say small log y is equal to capital Y, say log of a is equal to capital A, small x is equal to capital X. Remember, small x, capital X, both are same. But to just write down or to manage a proper uniqueness, we have to assign say capital X as a small x. Otherwise, there is no need to assume small x is equal to capital X. And at the last, say log b is equal to capital B. So by using this transformation, the left hand side term log y, that is capital Y, log a is equal to capital A. Now small x is capital X, log b is equal to capital B. If you cannot assume this small x is equal to capital X, so here y is equal to a plus bx, only one letter x is small. So to get a unity, say all the letters are capital, we have to assume this transformation. So ultimately we have to say that our original form is y is equal to a b raised to x, that is a non-linear equation. But after applying so transformation, log y is y, log a is equal to a, log b is equal to b, we have to convert into a linear form, that is the standard equation of line, that is y is equal to a plus bx. So by applying this strategy, we have to convert this non-linear equation into a linear form. Similarly, if there are this type of form, y is equal to a into x raised to b, again apply log on both the sides. So log y is log a plus b into log x. We have to use some of the property of logarithm. For sake of conveniency, assume say small log y is capital Y, log a is equal to capital A. Just for matter of unity, say small b is equal to capital B, but it's not mandatory to assume this transformation. And finally, log of x is equal to capital X. So this non-linear equation is reduced to linear equation, y is equal to a plus bx. So it doesn't matter which type of non-linear equation is here. Ultimately is reduced linear form. Y is equal to a plus bx, y is equal to a plus bx. The difference thing is the transformation is different. Here log x is equal to capital X, here x and capital X both are same. By applying the same strategy, we have to reduce this non-linear equation y is equal to a into e raised to bx into a linear form, y is equal to a plus bx. So it doesn't matter we have to deal with which type of non-linear equations, we have to apply the same strategy to convert this non-linear equation into a linear form. So ultimately it gives y is a plus bx, y is equal to a plus bx, y is equal to a plus bx. So it doesn't matter which type of non-linear equation is that. And now once we have to get a linear form, y is equal to a plus bx. So we have to see in the separate lecture say curve fitting when we have to fit a least square line, because y is equal to a plus bx is nothing but is a equation of line. So we have to apply the strategy to fit a straight line. To fit a straight line, say y is equal to a plus bx, the first unknown is a, second unknown is b. So there are only two unknown, and to solve or to find out the value of two unknown, we have to require two normal equations. Okay, so how we can get the normal equation is we have to already see, and the same strategy we have to apply to solve this example. So let's see the example. Say the below table, this table gives experimental value of the pressure P. The second row represents the pressure P of a given mass of gas corresponding to various value of the volume V. So volume V is represented by this first row and corresponding pressure is given in the second row. So some data is given. These are the experimental data of some of the experiment where volume and pressures are two of the random variable, and they have to observe some observations. According to thermodynamic principle, a relationship having the form. Now we have to follow this thermodynamic principle, and in thermodynamic principle we have to know that the basic relation between pressure and volume is given by this standard equation. So P into V raised to gamma is equal to C, where C are constant. Now should exits between the variable. So these are the relationship between pressure and volume, where C is the constant. Okay, so this type of relationship is exists between pressure and volume. Now we are interested find the value of this gamma and also find out the value of this constant C. Second, we also find out the what are the connection between pressure P and volume V. That is, we have to find out say connection in the sense that relationship. What is the relations between pressure P and volume V? If there is something amount volume, that is measured in mass. If something mass is increased, then at that time what is the pressure P? If the pressure is increased, yeah, pressure is decreased, then what is the level of mass? That is what is volume V. Finally, we have to estimate the pressure P when volume is 100 cubic inch. So when volume is 100, so these are 54, 61, 72 and so on 88. So volume is 100, so it's something between these two cells. These are 88 and these are 180. So when volume is 100, somewhere between these two cells, these two entries. At that time, we have to measure what is the pressure P. So we have to find out this three quantity. So let's start the solution and apply the concept we have to just discuss here. So the relations between the thermodynamic principle suggests that the relation between the pressure and volume is given by this equation. P into V raised to gamma is equal to C. So since P into V raised to gamma is C, so as we have to know that these are the one of the form of non-linear equations. So our first aim is to deal with non-linear equations. We have to convert or reduce into the linear form. So there are say standard strategy, say apply logarithm on both the sides. So by using the STEM strategy, so left hand side that is log P plus gamma is in the power, so plus gamma log V is equal to log C. Yeah, is also just we have to rearrange the term. So log P is equal to log C minus this term we have to shift it on right hand side, that is minus gamma log V. Now to get a linear form we have to assume the suitable transformation. So let first of all assume say log V is equal to small x. Remember it depends on you. You may assume say log of capital V is equal to small v. It doesn't matter. Here we have to assume as x. So we have to assume capital log V is x. Say log of capital P is equal to y. So this equation can be reduced to say log P, that is y. So left hand side is equal to y. Okay, is equal to a, where we have to assume a is equal to log c just for sake of convenience. Otherwise there is no need to assume a is log c. But to get the standard form of straight equation y is equal to a plus bx, just we have to write down a is log c. Otherwise a and log c are both are same. So left hand side log p, that is log p is equal to y. Now right hand side first term is log c, but we have to assume log c is a. So right hand side first term is a. Now log v we have to assume is equal to x. So is x. And here there is minus gamma x, but we have to assume b is equal to minus gamma. So we have to get the standard linear form y is equal to a plus bx. I will repeat again. So log p, that is y. Log c, we have to assume is small a, so is a. B is equal to minus gamma, so is plus p, and log v is x. So we have to get y is equal to a plus bx. So these are the standard form of least square line. Yeah, just simply straight line. So next our aim is we have to find out the value of unknown, that is a and b. To get the value of unknown a and b, we have to write down the normal equations. But to write down the normal equations, see these are normal equations. Say y is equal to a plus bx. How we can write down normal equation? It's very simple. Just apply summation on both the sides. So when we have to apply summation on right hand side, we have to get summation of y. So the left hand side is summation of y. Now right hand side summation of a, but a is constant, and as we have to discuss, say summation of a, it leads a into n, where n is the total number of observations, so is a n, plus b summation of bx, but b is constant, so is outside, so second term leads plus b summation of x. Similarly, to write down the second normal equation, we have to multiply this equation by x on both the sides and simultaneously take the summation. So multiply with x. So the left hand side becomes xy and apply summation. So is sum of xy. So sum of xy. Now multiply with x, that is ax. Then apply summation, that is summation of ax. But a constant, so take outside, that is a into sum of x. This term. Finally, bx is already there. Again multiply with x, so bx square. That is summation bx square. But b is constant, so is outside, so b into sum of x square. So to solve these two equations, ultimately we have to find out this summation of y, summation of x, sum of xy, sum of x square. That is, we have to find out four summation. So to find out this four summation, we have to make a table for simplicity. So we have to write down this original data is here in the margin just for sake of conveniency. Remember, we have to assume the transformations. So small x is equal to log v. So small x is equal to log v. Y is equal to log p. So y is equal to log p. And to get or to solve the normal equation, we have to require x square and xy. So we have to include one column x square and xy. So see carefully how we can obtain this value. Say volume is given, say 54.3, that is capital V is 54.3, but x is not capital V, x is equal to log V. So 1.7348 is nothing, just is log of 54.3. And when we have to find out log of 54.3, we have to get 1.7348. Similarly, if we have to talk about this cell, say log of 61.8, it leads 1.7910. Similarly, log of 194 gives 2.2878. Now, we have to talk about this cell. Say log of p, so log of 61.2, that is 1.7868. How we can obtain this cell? Say log of 49.5, that is 1.6946. Similarly, so log of 10.1, that's 1.0043. So we have to get the value of small x, small y. So x square is nothing, just square of each and every element on this column and just plug in your respective cell. So 1.7348 square is 3.0095, 1.7910 square, that is 3.2077, and so on. Similarly, x into y, so just multiplication of first and second column, that is 1.7348 into 1.7868, Its leads 3.0997. Similarly, we have to find out 2.2878 into 1.0043, so 2.2976. And in the last column, just we have to find out the sum of each and every column. That is 1.7348 plus 1.7910 and so on. 2.2878, it's lead to 11.6953 and so on. Summation of xy, that is sum of this all the element in last column, so it's lead 16.8543. So to solve this normal equation, plug in the value of each and every summation. So the first one is summation of y. Say summation of y. So second column, that is 8.7975. So sum y, that is 8.7975. Now n. How many data is given? Say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the value of n is 6. And a is constant, which we have to determine, so is as it is, so 6a plus b is unknown, so is as it is. Sum of x, that is 11.695, so 11.695. Similarly, plug in the value of sum of xy, sum of x square. Sum of xy approximately 16 point something, sum of x square approximately 23 point something. So we have to get this second equation. So right now there are just only two equations and two unknown. So definitely we have to get unique solutions. So you have to apply any of the strategy, say Gauss elimination method, yeah, Cramer's rule, yeah, as you wish, which you have to comfortable. So it's a very simple, only two equations, two unknowns. So we do not go in the detail. So when you have to solving this, you have to get the value of a is 4.20. and value of b is minus 1.40. But we have to assume that the form is just like y is equal to a plus bx. So plug in the value, so y is equal to a plus bx, but a is 4.20, b is negative 1.40. So we have to get this equation. Let's start to dealing with what we have to find out. So next we have to start this first quantity. So the first option is find the value of gamma and c. So since small a, just we have to find out, so a is equal to 4.20, so is 4.20. But we have to assume that what is small a? Small a is a transformation that is log c. So a is equal to 4.20, but small a is also log c, and b is equal to minus 1.40, so b is minus 1.40, but b is equal to negative of gamma, so b is equal to negative of gamma. So by considering this fact, we have to say that, say, see here, 4.20 is equal to log c. So to get the value of c, just we have to consider antilog. So c is equal to e raised to 4.20. And by solving that, we have to get the value of c is 1.6 into 10 raised to 4. And now negative of gamma is negative of 1.40. So minus sign is cancelled out. So gamma is 1.40. So the first option suggests that find the value of gamma and c. So the value of gamma is 1.40 and value of c is 1.6 into 10 raised to 4. Second option, write the equation that connect the pressure and volume. That is, what is the relation between pressure and volume? But the standard relation, that is PV raised to gamma is equal to C. These are nothing but is a connection between P and V. But here these are unknown. So just plug in that value. So second option, so PV raised to gamma is equal to C, but gamma is 1.40 and C 1.6 into 10 raised to 4, that is nothing but 16,000. So these are the connection between pressure and volume. third and last option, say estimate the pressure P when the volume is just like between these two cells, that is 100. So we have to find out the approximate value of pressure when volume is 100 cubic inch. So when V is equal to 100, but we know that the transformation, say log of V is equal to X. So log of V is equal to X. And now here is equal to 2. So we have to plug in the value of V, that is log 100. So by solving that, we have to get the value of X is 2. Now also there is the transformation, say log of P is equal to Y. So that is log of P is equal to Y. But what is Y? Just we have to find out. So Y is equal to 4.20 minus 1.40x. So Y is 4.20 minus 1.40x. The last term is x. But here we have to calculate the value of x is 2. So we have to plug in x is equal to 2. So is 4.20 minus 2 into 1.40. So by solving this, we have to get the value of y. That is value of log p is 1.40. So these are 1.40 is the value of log p. So p is just by taking an antilog, that is p is equal to e raised to 1.40 and its leads 25.1. So when volume is 100, at that time the pressure is 25.1. So we have to also find out the last option. So our example is finished here, but here we have to include one more slide. This slide is not part of this course, but for better understanding of the topic we have to include it. So in margin we have to write down the given data, that is volume and pressure is given. Now we have to draw a graphical representation of the data. So the x-axis represents the volume, that is V. The y-axis represents the pressure, that is P. When volume is 54.3, something like here, at that time pressure is 61.2. When volume is nearest to 61, something like here, at that time pressure is say 49.5. Similarly, when volume is 119.4, so nearest to 200, at that time pressure is just 10.1, so is 10.1. And now our aim is we have to fit exponential or logarithmic curve. So actually these are the non-linear equations, but by using the suitable transformation we have to convert into the linear form. Then we have to apply the strategy of the least square line, and finally we have to fit this non-linear equations. And now this non-linear equation is nothing but it's represents by this relation, that is PV raised to gamma is equal to C. Yeah, precisely we have to say that P into V raised to 1.40 is equal to 16,000. So these are the equation of the curve. And also we have to here predict when volume is 100. So volume is 100, at that time the pressure P is 25.1. So you have to see here when volume is 100, at that time pressure is something like here, is between 20 to 30. So when volume is 100, the pressure is just like nearest to 25. Precisely we have to say that is 25.1. So these are the graphical representations, and this slide shows that what we have to actually done in this whole lecture. So thank you very much for paying your attention.